It's the way it is at the moment. Who is to blame? The Minister of Labor? Didn't he do a good job with this? It's also a question. Could that be why the president is saying Festus Keyamo go help him out? We don't know. But where we stand, suggestions are that it might even be difficult for the state and the federal government to implement the arrears of the new minimum wage.
Yeah, because I do think that first off, now that they've realized that they would need to, look at everything and put everything in the right perspective, look at the structures and how it works, then I do think it will take a longer time. But hopefully it speeds up as.
Well, let us know what you think about the minimum wage saga at the moment, though. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
You said Ajay from Oyibo.
Go ahead.
Actually, I want to contribute on the previous this thing. I tried my very best to call.
Unfortunately, you couldn't. But we passed that now. We don't want to go back to it. But you can send a text message. I think we could take it as an SMS.
But somebody else comment before you.
We haven't started this topic at the time when the comment came in. But go ahead. Let's just give you the chance. Let's give you the chance. Go ahead.
Okay. The only thing I want to say is that each time a government bring out a policy, once it's them, their supporters will be singing, drumming. I was looking how Lawson was routing, and you are trying to question go this way.
Well, we've always said that we shouldn't refer to comments of people on the show or mention names.
What I'm trying to say in nutshell is that looking at the show, these people is order that they should detain show, and they quickly obey. Now that this have been given order to release, they said no. And somebody is saying that they have not met up their condition. With the channels, is it the only one I watching channels? I watch everything live and right. There was nothing. The Alan has said it top and plain. What are the conditions? The conditions are not much. They already meet up the condition, but these people refuse to release.
All right, thank you. You made your point. Thank you. You made your point. Thank you very much. You made your point. We have to let you go. Well, now we're no longer talking about Showari and Falana and DSS and everybody. No, we've left that behind. We're looking at the minimum wage now and what is being said. A new committee is being set up again. And this committee is called the Presidential Committee on Salaries and Allowances. There's also suggestions coming from the Senator Ngige, the Minister for Employment and Labor, that it would be difficult. It might just be difficult for the federal and state government to implement the payment of the minimum wage in arrears. Does that mean that he's already telling us that we might not get, they might renege on that agreement? We don't know. So let's know what you think with the delay of the minimum wage implementation. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Your name?
Mr. John from Port Harcourt.
Okay, John.
Yes, I want to contribute on the talk about the minimum wage.
Go ahead.
Yes, the new committee that is set up by the federal government is a welcome development. Because all along they have been trying, but they have not been able to reach agreement with Labour. Probably this time around, this committee will do a better work compared to what others have been doing.
Okay.
Yes, the problem now is not the junior workers. From level 1 to level 6, I think that each area has been settled.
It's from 7 to 17.
The area they are having issues is 7 to 17.
Yeah.
And Labour and federal government has not been able to reach a compromise on what percentage to implement.
And that's where I have a question now. Don't you think that for a proper job to have been done from the onset, when government went to the negotiation table with Labour, they would have carried all of this in mind and sorted all of this out instead of doing it part by part?
As the negotiation continues, new things, new developments keep popping up. Now, the federal government have realized that if they are to go by the initial agreement, in fact, the whole country will be bankrupt. In fact, no states can even pay it. So they have looked into it again, and that is why they are still, negotiating and renegotiating. Right. But the problem that we have is that Labour is insisting on their own grounds without even considering the, revenue and the amount of money that we have in this country. So
that's very true.
For me, what Labour is demanding is outrageous. And if government is to go by that, then we are going to be bankrupt. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Talking about outrageous demands of Labour, what about the monies that we're spending on lawmakers And just yesterday, we're talking about billions for vehicles, for House of Assembly members. We're talking about billions given as welcome as starter packs or packages for senators. Talking about billions that was put in for some senators, 43 senators that just came in to start off their affairs and all of those. And nobody's talking about cutting those down or talking about those leading us into bankruptcy. But this is the problem. Why?
I don't see why people would think that the minimum wage that they're requesting for workers in Nigeria is outrageous. First off, I do not understand how 30,000 naira is outrageous for somebody who works.
But they are saying perhaps when you look at it as a whole for maybe the millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people that would be on that grade one level that you'd be paying that money for, and then the ripple effect, what they might be referring to. But I think it's still not equated to the amount of money you're paying to just 43 ministers or House of Assembly members, rep members or Senate members as allowance for house and cars alone.
Yeah, it doesn't even, like, I don't see how we can even, first of all, yeah, if we're going to talk about the ripple effect it will have for in terms of monetary percentages here in Nigeria, I do think that first off, there should be maybe a committee set for to look into the money spent on the House of Representatives, the senators and all of that, because all of that monies can be used to do other things. I mean, allowances alone,
the feeding allowances from the executive to the legislative.
It's the monies that they give to them for allowances.
Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Hello. I don't think if they pay that money, Nigeria will go bankruptcy. Just a defeat. They should make civil service, viable. Some of the ministry and departments, they are profit oriented. So they can generate revenue. There are ways that they can, arrange that the paying of this money will not be a problem. Even if you don't want to reduce money from the so-called lawmakers, there are ministries that are very viable. They can make profit. So it's just a lack of ideas and they don't know what to do. Because I believe 30,000 the money they want to put on top from level 7 to 17, it's not a big deal. How much are they going to put? If they put, say, maybe, let's say, 5% of their salary on top of their normal distance, if they calculate it, how many civil servants do we have? Then the ones that departmental profit or rated making, they can generate revenue. Negotiate a way that if they make over profit, they can take it as a kind of a palliative incentive on top of their salary. It's a simple thing. There's just lack of idea that is recorded there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Andrew.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, DK, on the minimum wage.
Go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask. I can't really understand that it is only when Nigerian government want to pay workers that sense of economy will down on them. When they are lavishing our resources, sending their children to school abroad, getting Medicare abroad, shopping in Dubai, in fact, riding the most expensive cars you can think of in the world. They don't do calculation when it is in that area. Only when you are to pay workers just a living wage that they start doing all this kind of calculation. Why can't they cut down on their excesses? I think just not up to a month ago that eco allowance for the senators alone is about 54 million naira. You don't even talk of their pay. Is that many of them are collecting more than double pension as ex-governors, ex-former ministers, ex-this, ex-that. I do not agree with Mr. John at all that the request made by Labour for pay is outrageous. I do not. They should just find a way and pay these people. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well, thank you very much, Adike. Like what we were saying, I'm saying I think they should look in some of the allowances that are given to government officials and cut them out. If you're being paid, it's almost like saying you're being paid, and then we're giving you wardrobe allowance. And I don't think you're doing a job. Like, it's a certain kind of job you do that a company puts on you. We know that. I mean, you're coming to make laws, and many have said, yes, it's a difficult task. It's very intricate and all of that. stand. But then you're being paid to look good to come and make the laws. You're paid to make the laws, and you're being dressed up by the country to come make the laws. And then some of them even have pet allowances. I don't know if that still exists. If you have a pet and you're being paid, your salary should take care of your pet. And I don't think the country should pay your pet as well. Or sometimes they have allowances for weddings and birthday celebrations, vacations and whatnot. Why aren't we looking at all of those allowances? In fact, we were welcoming the Ninth Assembly, and there was a package that has to be paid. I heard of it the first time too. Like, you're paying these monies to welcome a new assembly, and some people who are part of the new assembly are actually old members. And then they get new monies for new cars. And some of them even have to complain and say that it's embarrassing that